Hello and welcome to our show, Film Talk with AJ Dean. I'm AJ Dean, your host, and I have the amazing co-host, actor Paul Vato in the building. Hey, Paul, how are you this week?
I am wonderful, AJ. Thank you so much for once again having me as your co-host. And I'm loving these shows, and I'm so looking forward to tonight's interview. So thank you for making me a part of it.
You're amazing, and thank you for being here. And I just want to say, talent on the set in 10 minutes. Actually, talent on the set in 10 seconds. And you know who that means? We have the amazing Janet Lopez here. Hi, Janet. You're an actress. Welcome. Welcome, Janet Lopez.
Thank you, you guys. I just roll out of bed and I'm here on set. No,
I love it. That's how the industry is nowadays, right, Janet?
Yes, you got to be ready to be seen on TV.
Ready to be seen and have your home studio all set, ready to go. So we're just so thrilled to have you here, Janet. You're absolutely gorgeous and beautiful and a wonderful presence. And you have been in so many film and TV productions. And I've got two of these great productions on the screen right next to me here. And that is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and also Relationship Killers by Noah A. Waters III. And we want to give a shout out to Noah. Hi, Noah.
Hey, Noah.
Hey, Noah. We love your films, Noah, and thank you so much for referring Janet to us. And you are incredible, Noah, very, very much. We support you very much. Okay, so Janet, can we talk a little bit about these great movie posters? Oh my gosh, who hasn't seen Indiana Jones? They are phenomenal. So let's talk a little bit about that. I wanted to know, on the set, how did you get that role as the, you played the candle?
Yes, I own like a candle store in a village. You know, it's funny because when I first got cast, I didn't know what I was being cast for. It was very secretive. The film was Untitled. It was so secretive. Even when I got there, it was secretive. I remember looking at the security and there was no title, nothing. And they're like, "What are you here for?" I'm like, "The Untitled movie, I guess." So everything was very secretive up until that point where I was there and I realized. And then I remember it had a title. So I went from Untitled movie to a title. And then they changed it to the final title that the whole world knows as it is now. But they did change the title once prior to that.
Amazing. And yeah. I love this story already. And when you arrived on set, Janet, what did it look like when you walked in? I mean, was there gold relics?
I know her.
What was there on the set?
Okay, well, I kind of skip a little bit. I do want to say that we had to try on some outfits before we got on set. So that was another thing. So that part of it was my first experience. It was a huge warehouse full of clothing. I mean, lots of clothes. It was just amazing because a lot of this clothes was timepieces, you know, and very specific clothing that people wear during that time. And I was working in the set for Peru. So in the movie, when you watch the movie, there's time where it takes place in Peru. So it was Peruvian clothes during that time, you know, it was like back in the day. And it was funny because I mean, hundreds of clothes. And so you're trying on this, they're grabbing all this clothes and they're looking at you, measuring you. It's really fast and they're all grabbing you and you're just like, you don't know what's going on. And you're getting all this different clothing on. in the end, they picked this really heavy outfit, and I mean, super heavy skirt that felt like I had to drag it. You know what I mean? Like it was really heavy. And I just felt like I was wearing so many layers. And anybody who's an actor knows that wardrobe, they just love to layer you up. And so, but you're having all this heavy clothing, but it's also layered. It was really intense. They had told me at that time that they were, I asked them, I actually had somebody interested in being in film. And I said, well, maybe I could just ask, you never know. And I said, hey, I have a friend, maybe he can come on, if you guys want to cast him on like right on the spot. And they were like, just bring him. And so the person was Italian, not Peruvian. I'm Latina, but he wasn't. The thing was that he shows up and right away he was spotted. And they're like, no, he's not. They're like, no, he's not Latino. And yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I think I just was so excited that I was going to be able to bring a friend and to be in the movie. And yeah, that didn't pan out at all. They were just like, no. Like, I'm always trying to help people. Yeah, now I think back and I was thinking, yeah, no, we need to cast, Latinos and Latino roles. And I think at that time, like I said, I was just thinking, hey, I could bring my friend, and I just wanted, to work with my friend on set, and it would have been his first experience.
Oh, that's so generous of you. And you have such a beautiful heart. And you know what? Your friend, if he keeps at it, he'll find that perfect role.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
right. And that was just so wonderful. So you had all of this amazing layers on, and then they finally decided who you were going to portray, your role. And you were the candle seller, right? The candle girl seller, and also from Peru, right? So you had two different looks. Is that right?
Well, I was a Peruvian candle seller, but I own my own store. Just like when you're walking and there's store owners and they're trying to sell things for, off. I kind of think of it like the flea market.
Yeah.
It's in the street and you're just kind of walking. Well, that was my role always. I just didn't know what movie it was for. And that was like where I wasn't sure what I'm doing. It was really a shocker when I found out what it was for. And I met like Steven Spielberg and like Harrison Ford and Shia LaBeouf. And I was just like, what is going on? And I was just really excited over just everything. I did see a lot of things during the set. There was a lot of stuff going on. But I think what was neat was walking in the studio, and then all of a sudden you see all this, a lot of like, you go off, you're on the street, and all of a sudden you're in this really amazing set. I do want to say that they took us on a bus. So it was one place where we got the wardrobe, and then it was another place where we got driven. There was a point where we were on the bus and we were transported to the location. And once we were in that location, we're pretty much stuck at this location in the middle of wherever it was. So, because we had two different locations, but we ended up in this one location. And I remember stepping out of the bus, and then it was a long ride. And when I got out,
to a secret location.
I believe, oh my gosh, you guys got to remember, this is one of my first movies ever. So we're talking about like a long time ago. So,
and it's a multi-million-dollar budget as well,
yes,
right?
It was huge. They had everything. I'm telling you guys, they had the food. I mean, almost like their own cafeteria. They had their own cafeteria, their own warehouse with their own clothes. I mean, the works. And so they had everything there. I almost felt like I entered this whole other world. But then in the middle of the set, you walk on set and you really just enter Peru. Like at that moment, you step off, there's dirt, there's, you go into Peru and back into that time, and you're there right there in that moment. But before all that, we're all hanging out. I mean, there was no VIP section or anything like that. We're all kind of just there. And so Harrison Ford's eating right there. You know what I mean? Like students, like we're all just together. And so I think that's kind of cool for a first time experience on set, where most of the time you imagine, sometimes, you know how it is. Sometimes the A-listers or whatever, they're separate, or they go back in their trailer or whatever. But in this case, it was just really open. And so you could hear every conversation that was going on. You could hear pretty much anything. You could see everything that was going on, because there's a lot going on during the eating part. But so what happened for me is that when I went there, I had kind of like my hair had been lightened a little bit, and they wanted my hair to be darker. So, which my natural hair is dark. It's very dark, but sometimes you lighten it a little bit. And so they end up trying to, like, they were just hustling, like trying to figure out what to do with Janet. They're like, what are we gonna do? Her hair is, too light. When you gonna darken it? And I just remember them basically like spraying, like they were just spraying my hair black. And anywhere I lean, it would like come off. It was really bad. And so they put the outfit on, and they're just like, that's gonna be less. And so I'm like trying not to lean on people, or trying not to lean on walls or anything. And so yeah, I got sprayed, and they did braids on me. I really look unrecognizable with the outfit, the braids, and then just everything. I like a whole transition going on. And yeah, it was really cool.
It sounds fabulous. And you know what? I'm going to have to rewatch that again tonight. I'm so excited to do that, because I'm going to look for you, Janet. Okay, because now I know you and we're friends. I'm going to look for your part. But I do want to ask you, did you have any interaction with Harrison Ford or Steven Spielberg? Anything
Yes.
to share with us?
I did. I'm just going to share. I mean, I can't say too much, but I will say this because it's very positive. But with Steven Spielberg, one of my favorite memories is that when I was saying my line, which I'm not sure if you can actually hear it during the set. Sometimes it's kind of muffled, but I had a line. One of my lines was, so sol means like $1 in Peru. So $1. So I would say one candle, $1 in Spanish, and I would say sol, because that's their dollar. So I would say one candle, one sol. And so Steven Spielberg was walking by, and we weren't even filming. And I was just joking, and I was like, hey, Steven. I was like, what, and I said one candle, one sol. And he's like, oh, what are you selling? And I go, I'm selling candles. He's like, how much? I'm like, one sol. He goes, what is that? I'm like, $1 for a candle. I don't know where he pulled out $1, but he literally pulls out $1 and gives it to me. And we don't have any pockets. The outfit that I have, like, I have no pockets. And so I just grabbed the $1, and I was like, wait, you forgot your $1. Because I'm literally selling a candle that he basically owns pretty much. It's like sad.
Did you give him?
I was like, wait, you forgot your $1. And he just kept walking. I was like, he just went like this, like, keep it. And I was just like, where am I gonna put this? Where am I gonna put this? I'm trying to figure it out. And we're about to film, so I'm just like, oh shit. I was like, oh my gosh, I have $1 from Steven Spielberg. And, your first experience on set, and you're just like, I wish like it was so fun.
So exciting.
That was one of my favorite interactions with him. He has a good sense of humor. He's really funny. And I just want to say he's very down to earth, and he dresses like just anyone, you know what I'm saying? Like he just wearing his tennis shoes, his jeans, and his hat, and just very, very down to earth, very real. And so he was really cool. I had a moment with Harrison too. He also has a sense of humor. So we had animals on set, and I think, okay, I'm trying to remember. I think it was a donkey. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure it was a donkey. We had a donkey, and I was talking to my friend. He was hired specifically because he's an impersonator, and Steven Spielberg really just handpicked him out. And so we were talking, and then there was a donkey there, and also Harrison Ford had walked by, and he just stands there, and then all of a sudden the donkey starts going. Do you know what I mean? Like,
doing its business.
Yes. And then I started trying to tell Harrison Ford what was going on. And, like, you know how sometimes there's that rule that you just don't talk to you just don't talk to A-listers or talents. And at that time I didn't know how to like go about it, but I do remember trying to like whisper, and I was going, like, hey, like trying to tell him to like look down. Like, so I'm going like this, like making all kinds of faces, and he's looking at me like trying to figure out what I'm like, what are you saying? He's like, and I'm like, and then finally I'm just like, I was like, the doggy. And he finally looks down. He's like, and then he just like starts doing, he looks and he starts going like this. Yeah. And I think he started like, give it like, come on, or something like cheering the donkey on, and then like, come on, you can do it, or something like that. And everybody just started laughing. And this moment that was just like nerve-wracking for me just became so hilarious. So he was really funny, and I just loved him for that. I was thinking, oh my gosh, Harrison, here I was worried, like, should I say something to him? Should I not? How should I approach him? And at the end of it, it wasn't a big deal. He was just having fun with it. He was like, it almost was like he was delivering a baby. He was like, yeah, come on. And then after that, I was just like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? The whole set was fun. And then he just kept walking, obviously. And yeah, and that was really cool to see the whole dynamic of the movie in that sense. And I'm just happy that I was on that set, because so much was going on on that set, for sure.
What an amazing production. And I love those moments. Those are to be treasured forever, Janet. And thank you so much for sharing those great moments with us. Over to you, Paul.
So this was actually filmed in Peru?
No, we went on set, and I don't want to get it wrong. It's been a while ago, but I'm pretty sure it was like Fresno or somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, okay. All right. So it was
It was
here,
Sacramento. I don't remember.
but it was
I just
supposed to
remember
be.
that we got on the bus and we were on it for a long time. And we were transferred to what I would say an undisclosed area. But no, it was in the US. It was California,
okay.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay, because I was wondering if they flew
It was
you
a made
down.
up set.
Got it.
That's
Makes
why I
it.
said, yeah, that's why I said it was like getting off of, like, you're like in the city and on the street, and all of a sudden you're on this bus, and all of a sudden you're in Peru. You know what I mean? Like, you're
Incredible.
yeah.
Incredible.
What's your background? Because you said you're Latina, and your last name is Lopez, right? So
Yes.
where's your family from?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I am Mexican. We are Native American as well.
Sure.
So Guanajuato is where we're from, but originally from Guanajuato, but my family is now and been there for generations. Baja.
I love Baja. I have been there and I love it. How about you, Paul?
You know what? I guess I haven't because I've been to Puerto Vallarta, which I believe is Baja California, which in English means Lower California. So yeah, no, I've been to Puerto Vallarta, and of course I've been to Cancun when I lived in Chicago because it's just so much closer. I was looking at the map. I'm like, no wonder we went all the time, because it was 2.5 hours, 3-hour flight. Chicago, you could leave Chicago in the middle of winter and get to Cancun, and you're sweating and you're wearing shorts, and it was wonderful. I remember landing in Cancun, and I think our plane was the last plane to leave O'Hare before they got shut down for the next week or so, or I don't know, maybe days, just because the snow was coming down so hard that I remember they're like, we don't even know if we're going to be able to leave. So I remember taking off, and the snow was just coming down really hard. And then 3.5 hours later, we land in Mexico. We land in Cancun, and I call home and just to let my mom know that this is the days before cell phones. Really, call home, and my poor father's out there shoveling snow, and I'm like, well, I wish I could help him, but I'm on the beach in shorts and a tank top. So sorry.
Absolutely, yes. And so, it's amazing, isn't it? How we're all connected, in this world together. And um, Paul, did you have another question you wanted to ask about Indiana Jones or Steven Spielberg or Harrison Ford to Janet?
No. I think we covered it. My main thing was it actually shot on location, and also, I mean, did you have an agent, or how did you end up? Was just a casting call, or how did you end up booking the role of Peruvian candle shop owner?
Yeah, that's a good. I'm like, it's Puerto Vallarta is not really involved, but you guys are all so funny. But I love the story. I gotta say, is it like in an Guadalajara area or 1,000? It's about 1,000 miles. But how did I get it? You know what? It's funny. So I was an actor in commercials mostly. So that's kind of where I started. I started in live theater and then commercials locally in Palm Springs, California. And then from there, I started realizing that I can do movies because I unintentionally got cast in a movie in Palm Springs. And from there, I saw the cast. I believe personally, my personal belief is that they were having a hard time finding Latinos because they needed a lot of Latinos. You gotta think, and we're a lot, by the way, you guys. If you're casting Latinos, there's a lot of Latinos that are SAG and a lot of Latinos that are non-union, and we're just kind of there. So there's plenty of us. But I believe that they were having, like, maybe they kind of ventured out with casting, and then that's when I came and I grabbed it, and I was like, I'm a Latina. I was like, I can fit this role. So that's kind of how I got it. At that time, I did not have an agent. There's a lot of confusion going on because a lot of people thought I was an agent. I was listed as a talent in a website for Palm Springs, and there's not that many talent there at the time, and not that many actors would list themselves up there. So they thought they were reaching out to a talent agency for Latinos, and they got me. And this kept happening, happened twice. But basically that's what happened. And I ended up finding out about the casting, and then they cast me on it. And the same story when it came to the Palm Springs movie. So listing myself on that website in Palm Springs was very helpful. And that's kind of how I realized, hey, I could be an actor. As a kid, you look at actors, but you don't think that's something that you can do or that's reachable, or it kind of just like something that happens out there somewhere and in outer space.
And now you're doing it.
Yes.
Jana, and you're so good at it. And also, you have been cast in Relationship Killers with Asia Loren and Lexi McCowan. And the director is Noah A. Waters III. So tell us about that. That's amazing as well.
Yes. So I do want to say that we are branching. We have another movie coming up that we're filming with the same director. And so we're all kind of participating, not just as actors, but also almost in the role of like producing. So we're all kind of combining forces, and it's called Lethal Ladies. But Relationship Killers I don't know if you guys know this, I'm an actor. I've done a lot of lead and supporting roles now at this point, but I also ventured into production and doing like producing and production management, first ADing. And so, yeah.
Amazing.
So that's kind of how I met the director of Relationship Killers. I was production manager on set, and he saw me, and I became a first AD for him. And he saw that I can cry on cue, and he needed somebody that can cry on cue, somebody that can truly, and I mean, like, he wanted somebody genuine tears. And that was the role that I filled for Relationship Killers. If you guys seen that movie, I'm the girl crying. And I was able to bring that emotion into it. And I like and again, it's all going to be connected into, you're going to see there's a whole project coming forward probably by the end of the year that, like I said, leave the ladies that all, but that's something that I was able to sort of master, was the crying on cue and really just cry. I remember when I was first doing it, somebody, you know how you go to classes and they teach you different things.
Yeah.
Well, I started acting with Vato classes, and then I started acting classes. It was all, I did everything backwards, you guys. Everything backwards. I got a lead role, and then a supporting role, and then like later on, I was like, so I did feature films first, several, and commercials, and then I did a short film. Like it was all backwards, and even the classes, I got feature films doing lead roles and supporting, and then I did classes. Everything backwards. But I remember when they were talking about crying, and one of them said, you gotta like think about something that happened, blah blah. The funny thing is, when I did that, I ended up getting stuck.
Oh,
Does that make sense? Like I remember I was like, and then also I was like, wait, what was my line? Like, like you gotta get, and then you can't stop crying because you're like, ah. But then it's like, and then I was like, yeah, that's not gonna work for me. So then I started different, yeah, and it's like, next thing you know, it's like a therapy session, and you're like, yeah, no,
because laughing is kind of close to crying, right, Janet?
yes, and as a matter of fact, that's how I cry, and that gets me in trouble because, when you're in a relationship or you're with somebody and you're crying and you're actually really crying, and they're like, "Why are you laughing? It's not funny." And I'm like, "No, I'm actually crying. This is how I cry. I just like I look like I'm laughing." But yeah, so I realized that my method is a little bit different, and I almost combine different methods, and I don't really use a real memory of something that happened to me because, well, like I said, you don't want to end up stuck in that situation or reliving situations. But what I do is I grab emotions, and that's how all my acting is actually. I grab emotions from a situation that happened, but just the emotion, and I bring it to the present, and then I do that. And I also use our memory, our facial faces and our muscles have memory. Like if you smile, you remember how happy you were, like naturally when you laugh, you smile like this and your brain remembers, oh, she's, happy, you're happy. And then you get sad. And so I use muscle memory to cry.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And that your muscles remember that moment, and it stimulates the happy joy feeling then. Is that right, Janet?
Yes. Like if I want to laugh, I just go. Or like,
wow.
Or if I want to cry, I do my so I do the muscle memory, like, because this is what your brain knows you're sad, like automatically you're sad. Your brain, that's a muscle memory. So I use muscle memory, and then I combine it. If I want to speed it up, I use the emotion as well, and for me that works.
Amazing. I love that. Don't you, Paul?
That's sad. Yeah. I do love it. It's great.
And I did want to ask you, where was Relationship Killers filmed again?
Oh my goodness, where was that? Oh, you know what?
In Peru?
Was
that in Peru?
I wish. When am I in Peru? When, you guys? No, this was it was at a I believe it was a veterans like a veteran studio for a lot of Asia, and Noah was in the military. And so that's where we filmed it. They had a bar and everything. I wish I knew this off the top of my head name of where we filmed it, but they do gatherings there for military. So they throw parties and stuff like that. And he's part of the I'm pretty sure he's part of the VMA and stuff like that. So it was nice. It was nice to have a lot of people who served in the military with us.
Yes, we want to give a shout out to all the military because they do so much hard work and defend our country, especially in today's world. And so, yes, thank you for bringing that up, Janet. And I did want to mention you've been on Access Hollywood, Dr. Phil, and two questions. What show would you like to be on besides Film Talk with AJ Dean and Paul Vato Presents? And the other one was let's see, what shows would you like to be on in the future? Would you like to meet Oprah or Drew Barrymore, or who would you like to be interviewed by?
Well, now that you said that, I love Drew Barrymore. Her sense of humor is so cute. Yeah, definitely her. And I would love to be in a series regular. Obviously, it was never a goal for me, but for some reason this year, it's like, you know what? I do want to be a TV series, and the reason why is, and I've done around 4 pilots.
Wow.
But you never know with pilots. But the reason I started thinking I need to be a series regular, all of a sudden I wanted to do that. And before I didn't. And I think because sometimes when you become a series regular, if you do the job so well, people cannot unsee you as that. And so you get stuck as a character, and then that's it. And so feature films, you could be all kinds of characters. But now I'm thinking differently, and I do want to do that. And yes, I was on Dr. Phil. That was an experience, you guys. Whoa. And then I was on Access Hollywood, and that was fun. I've worked with Mario Lopez before, and then I saw him again, and it was funny because it's all of a sudden I realized that we're like twins. We have the same dimples.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can see that.
And we took a picture together, and I was like, he's definitely my brother. Like,
yes, he is.
And I'm if he's from Baja California too, like we're got related somehow. So I mean, we gotta be related.
Oh, that's wonderful. So let's see. I did want to mention about monochrome. Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about that? And then I'm going to hand it over to Paul to ask questions and share and comment. So
yes,
what is
so monochrome? I sent you like a little sneak peek. So, sometimes we live life and we take things for granted, and we kind of just forget that some people don't have the luxuries that we have, right? And one of those is seeing in color. There's a lot of people that are colorblind, and we just don't know how they see the world, and their outlook in life may be different than ours, and we take color for granted. And so that's what this movie is about. I play one of the lead characters, and I'm his girlfriend actually in the movie. And I'm just trying to help him see the life, I guess, see my perspective in life with color, because he can't see it.
Yeah.
And so that's where it all kind of starts in a very in that way. But then the movie, you see it in his perspective, in my boyfriend's perspective. And Joe Chacon did a good job on that. And I shout out to you, Joe. So we are going to be submitting that. We just finished, it just got finished editing. So just literally right before this interview. So
wow.
So I got
congratulations. And I loved it. And you are absolutely beautiful. I'm not saying anything at all. My lips are sealed, completely secret, but you are beautiful in it. And thank you for sharing that with me.
Thank you so much.
And Paul, over to you.
Wow. No, it's great. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I would love to. So if you trust me with it, so if you want to send me a clip, I would love to see that. But well, it sounds like you've had quite the exciting ride. And I can kind of understand where you're coming from with looking like Mario Lopez, because I get the same thing, especially if my shirt is off. People are like, "Oh my God, look at these two; they could be brothers." No, I'm kidding. No one's ever said that. But
you could be my brother then. Oh, what's the
talent on the set?
Stepbrother. So, what were you on Dr. Phil for?
Oh my goodness, you guys! It's my little dirty secret. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, when you do these interviews, everything comes out. Okay, no, so they were doing a special show with interpreting dreams. And okay, so if anybody knows me, I'm a very curious person, and it's just not good, but I'm just curious person. And I think during that time when this casting came out and they were doing the special episode, that time, it was a while back, and I remember having this dream, and it was very repetitive, so repetitive that it was getting to the point where it was like every day. It was very annoying. So just imagine. And so when I saw this casting, I was like, oh my goodness, this is for me. This is for me. I'm just gonna submit and see what happens. And so I did, and then they brought me on. They loved the story. The thing, of course, Dr. Phil loves conflict. At that time, I had a boyfriend, but my dream was about my ex. Yeah. This could be a soap, like this could be a movie. So anyways, I convinced my boyfriend at the time, hey, we got to go to Dr. Phil. He's just to see what he says, about my dream. And so I thought it was going to be Dr. Phil, me and my my boyfriend at the time, and then talking about my ex and me dreaming about it, and just to see what I thought it would be funny. So, I'm like, this is going to be hilarious. We should go. Well, as it turns out, when we got there, he had a specialist and he had all these people. I don't know if it was like a psychologist or something, but he also had like a dream interpreter. And so while we were there, the dream interpreter speaks up, and she goes, she's dreaming about her ex. She's thinking about her ex. And then finally, my boyfriend's looking at me like, why did you bring me here? Like, it was really awkward. But then at the end of it, she actually said, there's a message. They're like, there's a message. Well, one thing she said, either you're thinking about your ex or he's thinking about you, but there's a message, and he's trying to convey this message. Because my dream always got cut off when we kind of come face to face, and then he's like about to say something, but then I wake up. Mm-hmm. So she said, next time you are about to go to bed, she said, think about confronting him and saying, what do you want? And I was like, oh my gosh, I do want to say that. And so then I leave Dr. Phil and all the drama behind, and I come home, and I was like, I go to bed, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna say, what do you want? What do you want? And I go to bed, and I wake up in the dream. Everything plays out just like it always does. And right before I'm about to wake up, I go, what do you want? And I was like, stop talking. What do you want? And he just looks at me, and he just said, I just wanted to say that, I think it was like, I just wanted to say that I've been thinking about you, and I'm ready to let you go. And then I was like, oh my gosh, thank God. I was like, yes, no more dream. And I never saw that dream ever again. He went on to get married. He met this girl on Facebook, and he married her.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That's quite a journey. And I'm glad that Dr. Phil was able to resolve that for you in a way.
Dr. Phil. Oh my gosh. Yes, he started a little bit drama, but at the end he picked, I guess it all kind of came together. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah. That is so amazing. What do you think, Paul? Over to you.
Yeah, well, I feel bad for your boyfriend, because even in the story you keep calling him your ex-boyfriend. So obviously that didn't work out. Are you single now?
So yes, well, we broke up. I don't want to say it was because of Dr. Phil, but I do remember there was some. No, it didn't help. That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, we broke up, and it was because this is really. I think there was just a lot, and I want to say that I loved his family and all that, but it was almost like too attached, and it was hard to find time for me and time for them. You know what I mean? So that's when I was yeah, so then we just broke up. At the end of the day, I was like, I want attention, they want attention, and I want to give them attention. But there was just that. So, and he's the only child at the house and loved
Latino?
at the time. Yes, he was Latino.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was a mama's boy, of course.
Definitely 100% was a mama's boy. And
Yeah, yeah,
she's
yeah.
looking at AJ's like, and I love mama boys, don't get me wrong, but
Me too. Me too.
yeah. And but I just wanted yeah, like again, it was almost like it was hard because they felt like they weren't getting enough time, and I felt the same way. And then it was just didn't work out at the end of the day. I was like, I don't think this is working out. And I'm not a needy person. After that, I started dating someone only once a week. I kind of love my space, and so yeah, I think they were just too involved in our situation and our life. And I just couldn't. I was just like, this is a bit much.
That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Lots of fun experiences and
Yes.
right in this amazing life that we have. And I'm so sorry to say this, but we have to start wrapping up.
Oh,
So
yes.
we're gonna do final thoughts. But you know what, Janet, you're absolutely a delight, and we absolutely simply adore you in every way. You are just a beautiful heart and great energy and so loving. And I did want to ask though one question before final thoughts, and that is, what keeps you going? What inspires you? What is it? Do you have like faith or belief or something?
I do have faith in God. um, I was raised in. I have a lot of faith in God, but I think what keeps me going in the industry, and this is from the beginning, is I love seeing people smile, laugh, cry, and also send messages like through our films and through our acting, and just bringing joy to people. Everywhere I go, you get to meet new people every single time, and you bring the joy that you have to others.
And you have so much joy, Janet, and you're going to do great. You're already a success, and you're going to keep doing that, even getting better and better. And we so appreciate you, Janet, and you're absolutely amazing. And so final thoughts over to you, Janet. This can be a heart message. It can be a message for the world or something important that you wanted to share. It can be a shout out to someone. Over to you, Janet.
I guess for if you're going to take anything, and I just want to say that love is for free. So if you can give somebody something, give them love. It's free. And sometimes a hug feels good, but if you don't want to touch somebody because of COVID, no, I'm just kidding. No, just give them love, give them joy, peace, and serve others if you can. Because when we serve others, you're helping somebody that maybe one day you're going to need help. So whatever you're doing in your life, regardless of what your job is, make sure that you're happy and that you're passionate about it, because then you're going to be happy, and then you could spread joy to others as well.
I love that. Beautifully said, Janet. Beautifully said. And Paul, over to you for final thoughts.
Oh, I don't know if I can top that, but since you're both fans of Mama's Boys, let me be very honest and say that yes, I am a Mama's boy, but my mama is in Chicago, so trust me, she's not going to get in the way. And since you enjoy dating once a week, how perfect is that? I'm in Vegas, so feel free to slide into my DMs. And follow me at paulvato.com, everyone. Please. You know what? I do have a request. Anyone that gets value from this and enjoys it, besides obviously subscribing to Film Talk with AJ Dean, which I love doing, is I dropped a new podcast last week, which is Paul Vato Presents. So if you guys could go to iTunes and maybe Spotify and just give it a follow, maybe give it a well-deserved 5 stars, that would be great. Maybe leave a comment, after you listen to a few. But it's I've taken a lot of inspiration from AJ and doing this. So thank you, AJ. I want to thank you for allowing me to be your co-host all this time. And I think I'm using a lot of those interviewing techniques that I've learned from you in my podcast. So Thank you.
Amen. You're so welcome. That's what it's all about. This is the New Hollywood where we share everything, we support each other, and we help each other in any way that we can and support. And I love this. And I just want to say thank you so much, Paul, and also for being the best co-host ever. And from my final thoughts, this is from a little bit of burlesque here. I've got my boa here, and I want to say it's kind of a special day. I'm wearing, you know, my fuchsia, black, and white colors, my brand colors, and my Gothic Victorian antique cross. It's really only $10, but I got it on Etsy. And so I just wanted to share with everybody out there just echo what Janet said about believe in yourselves and have fun. And just like the burlesque people out there that perform for us, live your passions, dance through life, enjoy yourself, and keep watching and keep going. That's the whole, keep learning. Oh, I love that. And who have we here? What do we have here, Janet?
He's the little baby and he's up for adoption. Up for adoption. He's my foster kitty that was abandoned.
Aww.
Hello, what a sweetheart. And we love animals. Now, he didn't sign the release form, but you give his consent that he's okay, right, to appear, Janet?
He's okay. He likes it.
He's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing him with us. And until next time, I did want to give a special shout out to, here we go, Georgette Dante. She's going to be walking the Hall of Fame, Burlesque Hall of Fame in Las Vegas, Nevada, June 1st, 3rd, and 2nd, or the first few days of June. So thank you, Georgette, for all of your service and as you continue your journey in filmmaking and entertainment. And until next time, Janet and Paul, until we meet again.
Yes. Bye, you guys.
Bye. Take care. We love you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.